The Miyagi Youth Orchestra, also known as the New School Orchestra or the Big Band, are about to take their brand of classical, jazz and traditional African music to Germany, Austria and the Netherlands. I'm very fortunate today to be able to meet them and chat to one of their talented violinists, Anele. So Anele, tell me about how much work goes into preparing for this kind of tour and playing an instrument such as this.
It's a very demanding process, I've got to say. It takes a lot of hours, strength, effort. And we're very privileged, to play in such an orchestra whereby we unite as musicians from around the country, from different races, different culture. And the amount that it needs, we have very specialized coaches from such places as world-class Vienna and Berlin Philharmonic. And it's really fascinating and intriguing to see such coaches with very high standards and what they demand. And it's really interesting to just get all the information, to get together as the big energy, the big orchestra. It's just to fit in 100 players, 80 players, to get them together. It's very scientific and mathematical, and it's just an interesting moment always to get to know other musicians and the work just put in together.
I understand this is not the first time that Miyagi goes to Europe, because from what I know, you were also in Berlin in 2009. Can you tell me a little bit about that tour?
It was really an amazing tour. Just also watching the other musicians, youth orchestras from around the world. The standard of playing was just very, very high. It just demanded like individual practicing from us. It was like we were hungry to perfect, what we were doing. And just being in Berlin, it's the center of classical, one of the big centers of classical music in the world. And to also there work with such great musicians, it's always one of those privileges that wants to drive you to perfection,
The orchestra is playing on the opening night of the Young Euro Classic Festival on Friday with Christian Mutspiel. Inspired by South African culture, he created a new musical piece for the tour.
Now, Christian, you're one of the most sought-after jazz musicians and conductors in Europe. I'm interested to know what made you come all the way to South Africa to work with these young musicians.
After this first try last year, I was invited last year to rehearse and play one concert with the orchestra in Johannesburg. It worked out so great, and the chemistry between the orchestra and myself, and this exchange into both directions worked so great that they re-invited me to do this European tour now, and I'm very happy and proud that I can bring this great youth orchestra from South Africa to Austria, where I come from, and we play some of the most prestigious halls in Germany and Austria on this tour.
So what can Austria expect from these young, talented South Africans?
It's a total different energy. So we try to put together the European classic culture in an exchange with African music. And the one piece I wrote especially for this tour is called Out of South Africa. And I take melodies of Tsepo Totsetsi, who is a member of the orchestra, and those melodies are the basic material for my symphonic piece. So the African music does a journey into European symphonic music and back to Africa. That's the idea of the whole program and the whole project.
The program also includes Leonard Bernstein's Symphonic Suite, On the Waterfront, and George Gershwin's An American in Paris. This rare opportunity is opening up a whole new world for the young musicians.